The craziest part about the K-Flock case is that he was initially only brought into jail on the Oscar Hernandez charge, but while he remained in jail, the feds hit him with even more charges. The only reason for the extra charges is because he was snitched on by his own members. It was announced K-Flock reportedly used a firearm against someone who used one against his friend in 2020. Today, that friend testified against him. The snitch's name is Brockington, otherwise known on the street as Dougie, not to be confused with K-Flock's best friend Dougie B. But Dougie was arrested for selling and took a plea deal to throw K-Flock under the rug. Dougie testified he was hit by one person, and K-Flock came to his defense and got the guy back with his own firearm. K-Flock defended Dougie just for him to turn around and snitch on him years later. However, to understand Flock's possible release date, it's important to read his case file. With Dougie in court, the prosecutors asked him, "After you got hit, who called you in the hospital?" Dougie answered, "K-Flock called. He said, 'You know we got you, bro.'" The prosecutors confirmed KK referred to K-Flock and continued with Dougie saying, "Yes, he was gonna retaliate against whoever hit me." The prosecutors asked him to admit it by asking, "Flock hit them up in retaliation for you?" Dougie said yes, and that someone got grazed during the altercation. Dougie continued, saying how Flock had a firearm on him and was on a call with rival members who were circling their block. This is why tensions were so high for K-Flock whenever he was walking around the streets of New York. Even Flock's close friend B-Love had this to say.
Okay, but so I saw some fans who were off at both me and academics after K-Flock got locked up because, well, just because I guess, like, you know, in our tone when we talked about it, you know, it might have seemed like we were being a little too presumptuous. But is that weird for you? Because I'm sure you see people all the way from rappers to whoever acting like, you know, your boy is just done and he's cooked in this situation.
I ain't gonna lie, people, especially people that don't even be knowing, like, y'all don't even know what's going on, bro.
The main reason why the Oscar case is still relevant is because it feels like the judge gave K-Flock such a long sentence because they knew about the M charge that he got dropped. If K-Flock didn't have the Oscar situation against him, he might have got a lesser sentence, even though he got the charge dropped. But the story of the Oscar Hernandez passing starts on the day of December 23rd, 2021. K-Flock was seen walking down the sidewalk with an individual. He's wearing a blue coat, shiesty mask, and designer jeans. But not long before he was walking around the city, he yelled at his ops on Instagram Live and told them off. Once K-Flock walks past a barbershop, Oscar Hernandez recognized him from inside. Oscar was quick to run out of the barbershop to yell at Flock, saying, "What are you looking at?" Oscar didn't want K-Flock wandering around his block. Flock responds back and they begin yelling back and forth at each other. But with Flock continuing to walk off, Oscar continues following and yelling at him. Rather than backing off and going back into the shop, he continues following him. Security footage even captured Oscar grabbing inside his jacket pockets, which made K-Flock rightfully believe he was about to pull out a firearm on him. Instead, K-Flock beat him to it and used his firearm against Oscar. In an attempt to get away, Oscar tried to return to the barbershop but fell to the ground. Witnesses were quick to call the cops and paramedics arrived on scene to try saving Oscar. Unfortunately, it was too late and Oscar passed away. The only things that were left at the scene were Oscar's slides he was wearing and shell casings from Flock's firearm. With the feds beginning their investigation, they had no clue who the masked man was, and they asked the public for help. They posted the security camera footage online, and it wasn't long before the feds started getting tips on who the suspect was. K-Flock's fans were quick to realize that it looked like him, and when you compared it to another jacket that he was seen with on Live, they basically confirmed it was him. The feds sent out a warrant for his arrest, and K-Flock was quick to hire one of the best lawyers in the country within 24 hours after the incident. Once his lawyer caught wind that Flock had a warrant for his arrest, they went to the NYPD station together to turn him in. But this was accompanied with his lawyer's statement, which wrote, "I accompanied Kevin as he self-surrendered to detectives in the 30th precinct. Arrangements were immediately made with the NYPD once I learned he was wanted. As to the charges against him, we have begun our investigation into these allegations. We will address bail once we have had a chance to review the case and further investigate the DA's noteworthy disclosure." But you even heard from Flock's lawyer shortly after they reviewed the evidence against him, and he fully believed he acted in self-defense.
When the guy hits the ground and is found, he's got a loaded that was in his pocket that his hand was on at the time. You know, we consider that to be self-defense.